divine attraction. Special disappear who been where they aspire to detour them to show a path that's higher. A profitable outcome, pleasing to God's sight, benefiting the 99%, shining a godly light. Generational turnaround, open doors wide for more people to thrive. No one left behind, seeking truth, unraveling the why. One wrong decision to turn around, we defy. Generational turnaround, a podcast and truth, bringing undeniable proof. In a world where decisions cast a shadow, generational turnaround, we rise to follow. For the young.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Generational Turnaround Show, where we seek the truth, and then we bring you the proof. And we bring you the proof by the guests that I invite to be here with me because they are professionals in their field. So without further ado, my co-host, and I'm calling her my co-host because on Sundays she's been here with me, and she is also an overcomer. And I'm gonna let her tell you, for you who do not know, let her tell you what she's overcome. Let me bring her up. Okay. Nothing to it but to do it. Let's see, can I do it? All right. Suelo, hello, my darling. How you doing?
Oh, blessed, well, and highly favored, just as you, Miss Judy. How are you? How's everyone doing? I hope everyone else is doing fine. So, how's your day? How are you doing?
My day has been wonderful. First of all, I finished the book for my friend who is blind, and she's also only have 7% of her kidney functioning. And so it was for me, I was so grateful, first of all, that she chose me to help her with her story. And then I'm so happy because I finished the book for her and we're going to be publishing it tonight. So I'm just telling everybody who feel like they've had a stroke, heart attack, whatever the disability that look, I didn't find out what my purpose in this world was until after I had a massive stroke and woke up from a coma. See, I wasn't even thinking along those lines of being a podcaster or a show on a show. My, but when you're obedient and you what you know, because God has favored you and shown you. Oh man, I love my life. Now I'm gonna give it to you, Swale. I'm take it away because I want them to know who you are and what you've been through.
Okay. My name is Consuelo, better known as Suelo in the clubhouse streets and in podcasting now because I'm doing podcasting. Thank you,
Wait,
Miss.
wait, 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 wait. You got to tell them what Swalo stands for.
Okay, so Suelo stands for situations will alter your life's outlook. We're taught one thing, but then when life happens, it's like, okay, this is not what I know anything about. So then, we got to do a little deprogramming, reprogramming, and understanding what really works for us. So, yeah, and that's what happened to me. That's what happened to me. The programming, take care of your family, family first. And I did that. I took care of my family. It was always family first. But at the same time, what happened to me? Who was taking care of me? Um,
Mm,
so I ended up, my body went through a whole lot of different changes. And let me see, it was in 2012. Was it in 2012? Yeah, 2012 when I lost my mother. Let me back up. It was in 2010 when I kept having all these problems. I went to the gynecologist, and the doctor, she says, well, let me go in and let me see what I can find. So she goes in, and she calls my mother in there, and she tells my mother, you know what, I can't do anything. So she, told them that I needed to meet her back at her office. I'm still under anesthesia and everything. I walked back in. I'm like, what's wrong? And she was like, and she just grabbed me and she just hugged me. And I was like, are you okay? And she was like, are you okay? And I was like, yeah, I'm fine. And she was like, no, you're not. And she asked me, now this was in 2010. She says, how were you walking? And I said, one foot in front of the other. I mean, I said, sometimes I have to be very, careful the way I walk, but, and she was like, I'm sorry. And she gave me all my money back. She gave me my money back for the procedure. She gave me my money back for all of her visits. She gave me everything back. And she was like, I cannot help you. And so she sent me to, other places. They were so scared when they saw the film of me. They was like, what is this? And I'm like, this is me. And they was like, this cannot be you. And I was like, what do you mean? They was like, what is this? I'm like, this is my insides. And they was like, what is covering? What is all of this stuff? So it took me 3.5 years, to find a doctor, a surgical team that would perform a hysterectomy, a complete hysterectomy on me, because they told me that if they did, I would have to have a colostomy bag for the rest of my life, and a catheter maybe for about 5 years. So they had 3.5 years, of waiting for God's direction, because that's what it was. That's what it was.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. I was laying in there in the hospital. They had, the anesthesiologist had just came in, and the man had came in to mark me for the colostomy bag, but I don't know what he's called. The doctor came in and said, don't do it. No. He said, I've been studying her for the past 3 months. And he says, I have faith that I can do this surgery without damaging any organs, because they couldn't identify my organs. That's how bad my endometriosis was. It covered everything. And that's why it was so painful. It was very, very painful.
Was it a huge fibroid?
No, it was endometriosis. So basically, it's like, it's like spider webs were just all over me on the inside, and it covered everything. It covered it. I had bowel blockage. It was bad. It was real bad.
What did they tell you? What caused it? Or did they know?
Well, they really don't know. They don't know, but they they said they've never seen anything so severe like that, to where they gave it a stage, in which was stage 4. And when I told somebody, I was like, well, I had stage 4 endometriosis. They're like, they don't have stages. I said, well, now they do. I said, now they do. But like I said, I went to, and I was in Dallas at that time. I was in the first doctor, I was in Frisco. Then I was in like Northeast Dallas. I was in North Dallas. I was all around. And they were like, nope. They was like, what is this? But yeah.
Well, and look at you now, though. What stages did you have to go through to get where you are right now?
Okay, so it was so severe that it had my uterus stuck to my back. So when they did the hysterectomy, of course, they messed my back up. And I didn't know that until I had the 2 car accidents in 2017, which made me disabled. So, that's what I'm saying. I didn't understand how bad everything was when it came to the endometriosis until 2017. So because of that and me not knowing, I'm going back to work. I'm just, I'm not going to sit down. I'm going to go back to work. But I didn't know that my back had been severely damaged from that because they had to remove my uterus, which was stuck to my back. And yeah, those 2 car accidents, like I said, it
Well,
messed me. So,
well, it sounds like they were a gift in disguise because you didn't even know about
well,
your
true.
back.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, yeah.
And so, and this is we want to help other disabled people who sometimes you get a little feeling like you out there by yourself and you're not can't make it any further than where you are right now. But both of us has been in that place where it looked like we were not going to make it, and it looked like I'm paralyzed on my entire right side, and nobody would know that right here, but I walk with a quad cane even now, and it's been years. In my speech, I tell everybody it is a work in progress. But you know what? I talk to you every day. And do you have any trouble understanding me?
No, ma'am, I understand you just perfectly. Even
Yeah,
when you say, well, my words are getting twisted, I'm like, Miss Judy, I understand you just fine.
yeah.
Yeah.
And so we're here to encourage and inspire those who are supposed to be disabled, but we are not disabled. We are well able to do exceedingly abundantly above all that's expected of us. And I know it's called generational turnaround, but we also have segments for disability unplugged. And today we are unplugging some myths, some stories that they say about people who are disabled. Well, there is there's a lot of people because I've been in some rooms with people who are disabled who believe those stories that there is nothing, you can't do what you used to do. So that means you can't progress because you don't have the same tools that you used before. But I'm here to tell you that that's a myth because when God wakes you up from a surgery like Suelo went through or a surgery like I went through, when the doctors are saying it don't look good, be prepared, and we're not going to say that they're not going to make it, but be prepared. So what are you going to feel when the doctor then told your whole family to be prepared? And so, but I went through 17 years of that. And here I am at 68, where people look at me and say, you went through what? Well, yeah, but I didn't go through it. God shielded me. God favored me. And when you recognize that God favors you, when you go through anything and you make it through, it's by the grace of God. So, Suelo, okay, didn't you have another bout with your body?
Yes,
Struggle
ma'am.
with your body?
Yes, ma'am. Breast cancer. Breast cancer. I had a complete left mastectomy. Um, but see, what you were just talking about is what got me right now is the joy that I have. And that's why I say, can't nobody take my joy, because every time you wake up from a surgery, people need to understand that's the closest that you could possibly be to death is,
Yes.
and so, this somebody else, this machine is breathing for you. And if
Yeah.
anything goes wrong, so I've been close to death a total of 8 times. That surgeries and everything else that happened in life.
Mm-hmm.
But God. So that's the reason why, I'm just like
Well, Swallow, there are some people who's never been close to death. So they can't relate. They can't they can't see that far as they used to say. But and then there's some who's like yourself, 8 times been close to death. And they they can't see that they're here for a purpose. They can't see that you're not here by chance. You're here by choice. God's choice.
Miss Judy.
So what is it time to do, Swell? Because I know you know because you've done it. So what advice do you give those who don't really recognize how blessed and favored they are?
That's the reason why I'm okay with losing people. And that's because of what you just said. It's time to walk in my purpose. It's time to
Yeah.
serve my purpose. It's time to, because I've always known I had favor, but I was ignorant with it. I was careless with it.
Mhm.
I'm just being honest about the whole situation. But now, if there's no sense of wasting time. And the reason why I say there's no sense of wasting time, because as I look back at all of the people that I lost along the way, millions didn't make it. Millions didn't make it. But you know what? I'm so blessed that I'm one of the ones that God said, wait a minute. I know if I shake you the right way, and y'all, and I'm saying y'all, yeah, I'm from Texas, but y'all, when they say God will shake the hell out of you, understand He will.
Oh, yes.
He
Oh,
will.
yes.
He'll shake it out of you. He'll make you sit down and say, do you understand? Do you understand me now? Yes, sir. I got you. Yes,
But
sir.
you know what? You just said something. If whoever is watching, is among the living right now, and they know that there's no way they should but God. And that means you have a mandate over your life, not just something you're supposed to be doing. You have a mandate over your life, and God's put it there. So I can tell you, massive stroke, subdural hematoma, 2 craniotomy, and wake up from a coma. Also, I was told that I would not walk again because I had so much scar tissue, so much in my knees that they won't bend. But take it to the left, Sometimes I have to take it to the right. Sometimes it's so tight that I can't move it. But I'm still here on this show right now. Then when the weather get bad, get uh, different. How is it with you when it get cold, 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 or too hot?
Okay, so nobody told me about the heat. Nobody told me that when it gets hot, it's just as bad. So,
Yeah,
you know what, Miss Judy? They told me that I wouldn't walk again. They told me I wouldn't use my left hand ever. But as you can see, I use both. This is my right and this is my left. So, but I made myself when the doctor came in there and told me that if I didn't take their medicine, he was like, well, ma'am, you know, if you don't take this medicine, if you don't do the chemo and radiation, statistically in 2 years, you won't be with us anymore. And I was like,
your devil's a liar.
I said, okay, so you can't tell me. I said, you are not God. I said, you are not God. I said, so you can't tell me when it's my time. And at that time, my mother had just was diagnosed with stage 4 pancreatic cancer like 2 weeks before me. So I was like, I got to go take care of my mama. I don't have time to worry about me. What are you talking about? And he was like, so what are you going to do? I said, I'm going to change my diet. I'm going to exercise more. But right now I got to go to work and then I got to go home, you know, see what's going on with my own mama. And he was like, he left. He left. But that weather, now that weather thing, it hits different. You know, I didn't understand that the cold would just make my whole body hurt and ache the way that it does. And I'm not 50 yet. I'm almost there. I'm almost there, but not quite. But I sure did not expect it to be like this. But mine is a different thing because, you know, I was also diagnosed with fibromyalgia. So anything that touches my body, it sends my whole body into shock. And I'm just like, I have 2 heating pads. So when it gets cold, I plug up both of my heating pads and I'm like, okay, it's time to warm this bed up. And I don't get in a cold bed anymore.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes.
The heat is just as bad though.
Nerve pain? Is that nerve pain?
Yes. Yes. But see,
Yes.
the heat is just as bad though.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Well, you know, I was thinking earlier today, and I ran this off. People with physical disability have a wide range of career options that are both fulfilling and fun. That's no lie. Think to think about the technology, thinking about graphic designer. I didn't know I had that in me. I didn't. And when I looked, that's the first thing that came up when I started looking for um, career choices for the disabled. That if you, especially the physical disabled, and the first thing showed was creating digital art. I did that today. Logos, advertising, writer, and author. There you go. There I am again. I didn't have these dreams and aspirations for myself when I had before I had the stroke. Because in life I was raising children and uh that's all that I thought about is making sure that their lives would be fulfilling. I, I kind of felt like mine was put on the back burner, and but when God saved me and favored me, and he told me in so many words, when I get you off of that potted wheel, okay, don't give me no excuses. And I have not given one excuse for what he has shown me in my life. So is there what has he shown you that you really didn't think about before this time?
Well, it's kind of funny that you said that you put your life on the back burner, because that is exactly, it showed me that I put my life on the back burner, but also the self-care awareness, the house that I've been doing on Clubhouse for 2+ years, that came about because my mother put her life on the back burner to raise us, and she did not do any type of self-care. So that's what I do. That's why when you said that, I just started smiling. I was like, wow. Yeah.
Well, let me hit you with another one. Another uh, career choice for us is motivational speaker.
Well,
That's
that's
you.
me.
That's you. That's
Yeah.
you.
But
We,
that's my name, kind of, because my name is Consuelo, and it means to console, to counsel. So yeah, and Suelo, it has the same meaning almost. And
yeah.
it's that's God's plan. So
And another, you would be a great coach. You need to get that certification. I went through it, and I am a life coach and a disability coach. So you can do it. These are all careers that even as a disabled, considered a disabled, because of our physical um, problems. This list is showing other things that we could do. And everything that I saw, not the first section, creative arts. That was me right there. And I am doing a lot of those suggestions. So online store, okay? What about that one? Online store and an event planner.
yeah, yeah,
Yes. And to everybody that hear me from the disability community, I hope y'all are listening and give it some thought, because I know it looks like it's a long way from you ever doing any of that. But believe me, it's not as far as it has been. If me and Suelo could get over the hump to level off where we are, because we know who our Father is. My friend wrote a book, Daughters of the King. So we know who we are. Do you know who you are? I seen you unmute, Suelo.
yes, ma'am, yes, ma'am. You know, knowing who you are, God will sit you down to set you up, to make you
Mm.
understand who you are and whose you are. Just because a lot of us, we don't know. And you know what? And people kept asking me, do you know who you are? And I'm like, yeah, I know who I am. There's like, no, Suelo, you don't. And I'm like, yes, I do. Yes. And I was like, no, Suelo, you don't. And when people kept saying, thank you for helping me, change my life for the better. Thank you. And I'm like, what are you talking about? And it was like, well, no, you're keeping it real. You are telling your story, and it's making me understand. And I was like, but what are you talking about? It was like, because instead of me listening to people, I need to have my own relationship with God. I need to base my own relationship with Him And they were like, some of them were like, the church that I was going to, I didn't like it anyway, but you let me know it's okay for me to find my own way, my own church. And I'm like,
That's right. Right.
yeah.
For me, the words for this year is consistency and willpower. Those are two words that I'm going to try really, really hard. And God, I've got to go with you and go to you because my willpower in some areas is not good, and consistency. But I am so happy that I'm here today. This is my second Sunday, and I'm going to keep making it because it's important. Us in a disabled community, we have a lot of opportunities, like I said, but we got to see it as opportunities instead of strongholds. Yeah, strongholds, yokes, all that is what it looked like at first because the trickster tries to make people think, especially in our community, that it's too hard, that we ought to just sit down, take it easy, and that's it. But we're not. We are not. We are the disability community is unplugged. And everything that they say that we can't do, we're showing them. We are hosts of TV shows. We are hosts of podcasts. We are speakers. We are graphic artists. We can do all things through Christ that strengthens us. So we've gotta go. I hate to say it, but the time flew by so fast. So I'm gonna give you the opportunity, Sway Low, to say whatever's on your heart before we close.
Okay, let me see here. Um, hmm. Okay, what's on my heart before we close? When it comes to, and again, I can only speak from my own personal experience and everything that I've went through. It may seem very confusing and it may seem very hurtful in the beginning because I didn't know, what was going on. I was like, okay, so now I have to learn how to live life in a total different way. And I did. I thought my life was over. And I was like, I can't do this anymore. I can't do that. I can learn to do certain things a different way, but there are some things I just cannot do anymore. But that's okay because the things that I can't do anymore, it just made me appreciate the things that I can do, if that makes sense.
Yes.
So, because, I was like, okay, well, I can't do it anymore. So now I just, I appreciate this more because, I can't do this. So, and it made me understand that, how we can also just lose things in the blink of an eye. So
Yeah.
the gratitude of life, the gratitude of, mobility. Because that day when I couldn't even walk, I couldn't talk, I couldn't do anything except lay there and cry, and my own tears hurt my body. So just be grateful in every moment as long as you have life.
Yeah.
Because at any given moment, your life could be over. And during the process of you learning how to live your new life, go ahead and make a legacy. Make the best out of it because you're going through it for a reason. And it's not just for you to sit there and wallow in any type of pity or anything like that. Learn to love yourself even more than you did before. And sometimes we'll learn that we didn't even love ourselves. And that's why we have to go through that so we can love ourselves and even learn who God is. So that's all I have to
Mm.
say. Love you to
Mm.
life on purpose.
Well, I'm gonna add to that. You don't necessarily get to go back where you come from. When you have something, um, when God brings you through something so tragic almost that He snatched you out of the car, out of situations that you should have, that should have been it. It's not for you to go back and start doing what you did before. It's for you to go forward. And as you go forward, if you got to go back, let it just, you just reaching back to bring someone up to the front with you. But it's not to go back. I don't want to go back to anything I was doing before the stroke, before the coma. I don't want to go back because I didn't have the mindset then. I didn't know what God had in mind for me. But once I was able to see my purpose, once I became purpose driven, there was no reason to go back. It was only a reason to activate my faith and witness, and I am witnessing a generational turnaround. So I pray that today was better than yesterday, but not as good as tomorrow. I pray that tomorrow will bring forth a double portion of blessings in the form of opportunity that you never saw coming. Good night, good night, good night. And we will
Good night,
see
everyone.
you next Sunday, same place, same time.
Blessings.
Blessings, blessings, more blessings.